Okay. So today we're going to be covering understanding infusion rates. In my personal opinion, I think that infusion rates are pretty easy. Some people beg to differ. They like to do drop factor better, but I think infusion rates are pretty simple. So basically, the formula for infusion rates are mLs divided by hours. That's the more simpler term. Now, these can be multiplied as well, but the formatting of the question would be different. So the first video, we're just talking about the formatting of the regular finding what the infusion rate is. So if the question says, what is the infusion rate? Then we're using the mLs divided by hours format, which is simple. Dividing the mLs by however many hours are given. So in this first example, I went ahead and gave you the version of the textbook and what they're literally asking, because as you know, any type of health science question or, nursing or pharmacy, whatever, respiratory care, they always ask you questions in a critical thinking format, which is used to throw you off. And I don't know why they do that. Let's just be straightforward. So a textbook style question is going to ask you something like this. If 500 mLs of D5W is run over 2 hours, what is the rate of infusion? It's like you need to program yourself to be able to X out things that don't matter. The formula says mLs divided by hours. So what I want you to be able to decipher when you're reading a difficult question like this is to interpret it this way. Infuse 500 mLs over 2 hours. That is what they're asking you. So again, this is how the textbook question is going to look, for example, or an exam question will look. But when you read it, I don't want you to even see those other things. What I want you to see is this. Boom. Infuse 500 mLs over 2 hours. That's all you need to do to answer this question. This D5W right here is what we like to call a distractor. A distractor is something that people throw into the question that holds absolutely no weight or any bearing on the formula itself. So dextrose 5% in water in this particular situation has nothing to do with the infusion rate and your ability to answer the question. Look for mLs, look for hours, and plug in your numbers. 500 divided by 2 hours is 250 mLs per hour. So this will be the final answer. You have 500 divided by 2 and it's 250 an hour. This is the final answer. You absolutely must make sure that you remember to put your mLs per hour so that you are being organized with your work. Oftentimes when you don't put your units of measurements, it can throw you off, and that's not good. So let's look at example number 2. Again, the textbook version of this question is going to be a lot more difficult for no reason. If 1200 mLs of 0.9% NS, which is normal saline, is run over 12 hours, what is the infusion rate? They are asking you about an infusion rate, which means this 0.9% NS has absolutely nothing to do with the question. In layman terms, what you should be trying to decipher, again, I just rewrote the question in a layman term way. The question is asking you to infuse 1200 mLs over 12 hours. What is the infusion rate? Again, plug in your numbers based on this formula. 1200 mLs divided by 12 hours equals 100 mLs per hour. So your final answer for this question is 100 mLs per hour. Once again, yet again, I want to reiterate, oftentimes when you're dealing with infusion rates and difficult questions or critical thinking, what they're going to do is throw distractors into the problem, which is going to prompt you to say to yourself, well, what is this number for? Am I supposed to put this number? Am I supposed to multiply it? They do that on purpose, and only the strong will survive. I promise you this. Disregard this part of the question. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. What is the infusion rate? What involves infusion rates? mLs and hours. Those are the only two numbers that you should be focused on. Whatever number has mLs in it and the amount of hours, that is what gets plugged into your equation. And this would be the way that you answer your final question. It is as simple as that. Do not complicate it for yourself, and don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed by distractors. This is the perfect example. Please make sure you pay attention to what they're asking you. Pay attention to the question that is being asked, and then you will know which formula to activate. Thank you.